Hey everyone, it is Marisha from SLP Now, and today we are talking about 6 IEP hacks for SLPs, and it looks like the live stream is working. Sorry for the feedback. But yeah, so we are chatting about 6 hacks because IEPs make up a huge part of our workload. They take a lot of time and we spend a lot of time talking about them, as well as writing and preparing and doing all of that good stuff. And we just released a blog post that has a roundup of our 6 favorite tips, which is what we get to talk about now. So we've been talking about a lot of these over the past few weeks. So this is just a quick roundup of my favorite tools all in one place. And then next week we are going to dive into vocabulary intervention. I've been reading a lot of the research and I'm excited to tell you about the things that I've been doing over the past few years, what works, what doesn't work, and easy ways to implement that evidence-based practice with our students. So that is coming next week, and make sure you stay tuned. But let's jump into these hacks down here. And I'm going to hide that real quick. So the first part is because it can feel really overwhelming when you're trying to tackle a big project. And an IEP isn't necessarily the biggest project, but it can feel really overwhelming to get started. And I find one of the best things that helps me is just to break it down into steps. And luckily for us, we have a lot of the same steps when we're writing. We go through a lot of the same steps when we're writing that IEP, and that makes it really easy to come up with a template and go from there. So as you can see here, I do have, I used to use these checklists and I had them printed out. I put them in front of every pending pack of paperwork, and then I would just cross off as I went along. But then I more recently started using a digital tool called Asana, and I did hopefully a super helpful tutorial on that last week, and I will share the link to the blog post so you can see that when you get started. And then the second step is to organize your paper, which is what I use this guide for. And I love it because it kind of connects with step 1. Because I use my digital task management system and I color code it, and it matches with these beautiful folders. But even if you're not color coding your tasks, I think this is really helpful just to keep track of your paperwork. I used to use clothespins, the wooden clothespins, and I just put, you can put dry erase tape, or you can just put a laminated piece of paper on it. And I just jot down the students' names, and that would help me know which students' papers I was keeping in the folder, and then I could just grab that and take it to the IEP meeting with me. Or if it was a really crazy time of year, I would just use that to keep track of my pending paperwork, and as soon as it's done, I would move it to a file, which I would then take to the meeting. But it just helps, and it looks pretty, and adds a little bit of happiness to this really fun process that we all love, right? The next step is to use templates. And it's like, I would love to share templates with you, but I haven't found a fabulous way to create templates that would work really well for a large, because I feel like every district I've been in has had very different requirements, and a lot of the things didn't generalize. So I don't have any of those, but lucky for you, some of our speech therapy blogger friends have created resources for us. And so I linked to those resources in the blog post, so you'll want to check that out. And that can be a great place to start to get some inspiration from people who are sharing their templates online. And another option is to look at your past reports and pull templates from that. Another option is to to collaborate with some SLPs in your district and be like, okay, let's just knock out some of these templates so that we can easily use them with our paperwork, and just kind of everyone can bring their strengths, and that can be a really great way to quickly knock out that kind of project. And then you can also do something similar. So this is number 4, with by building a goal bank. And all of the districts that I worked for, I think they had goal banks. I know my first district where I spent the most time, a group of SLPs actually worked together to build that. But then there are also some goal banks created by more of our blogger friends, and I shared the links to those goal banks in the blog post as well. So some really awesome resources that can help us work smarter. And then number 5 is to keep track of that information. You can put it in a Word document or a Google document and open it up every time you start writing a report, and then just manually copy and paste the piece that you want. But I have loved using a text expander, which I did a video on a couple weeks ago now. And that is just a really awesome tool. I put all of my templates and into that software, and then I can use shortcuts to quickly add those templates to my reports, and it makes it so much easier to get started, and I'm able to get so much more done in a shorter period of time. It is my favorite time saver, and I know that some of you out there are using it too. So that's number 5. And then number 6, whether you're using a text expander app or if you're copying and pasting from a Google Doc or some other kind of template, you'll want to take advantage of the built-in find and replace features on your computer. So if you're on a Mac, you can hit Command F, or if you're on a Windows computer, you can hit Control F, and that will allow you to search for something in your report. So when you're building your templates, you can use things like 3 stars, or 3 asterisks, I guess is a technical term, or any combination of characters that you wouldn't normally type. I know that Felice from the Dabbling Speech, she has his/her in her templates, and then when she's writing the report, she searches for his/her, and then or he/she, whatever pronouns, and she just has, it sounds like she just has a template of ones that she always searches for, and then she types in the correct pronoun. And that makes it really easy to make sure that you're using the correct pronoun, and then you don't have to hunt for all of the different pronouns. You can just quickly update them all at the same time, saving your cognitive resources for other goals. So that is a great feature, and I also linked to Felice's tutorial in the blog post. So these are just 6 quick tips for you today. I just wanted to kind of wrap up this discussion. Hopefully IEP season is kind of wrapping up or coming to a close soon for you. And I hope that the tips I've shared have been helpful. And like I said, we are going to be diving into some vocabulary intervention tips in the next few weeks. And I'm really excited to share the tips and resources with you on that topic. And I'm just going to check the chat to see if we have any pending questions or anything. And then I think we will call it a day. It was a quick chat today. And I don't know if it's going to work for me. But I hope you guys are having an awesome week. It's Wednesday, which is good, right? More than halfway through. And some of you might even be on spring break, which is awesome. And, oops, that's not the right one. Yeah, let me know if you're here and hanging out while I look this up, if there's anything exciting going on. But yeah, I think that's all that we have. I'm excited to share that link. I will do that as soon as we finish up here. And that's all we've got for today. But thank you guys for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.